Hi guys, I'm Matt Jones and I'm in my mountain bike workshop with my dog Moose. And when working out here on bikes and doing tinkering and things like that, Moose has never got a comfortable place to chill, hang out and lie down. So in today's video, we're going to be building Moose his very own DIY garage dog bed. So with Moose being a Labrador, we're going to be at the larger end of the dog bed scale, size-wise. And we've been out and we've got our cushion to go inside the dog bed. So all of the dimensions and all of the size of the pieces of wood we're going to cut are all going to be based around this cushion. So we need to measure it. So this cushion is about 90 centimetres long and 70 centimetres wide. And I'm going to build a bed frame that's slightly smaller than that, so the cushion's well housed inside and it can kind of fold up at the edges to give Moose a more comfortable place to chill. Right, so I've got a piece of ply which has already been cut down to a smaller size, but we're going to need to cut it again. And I think width-wise, this ply is going to be perfect. It'll bunch up nicely. But I'm just going to mark up the length of the piece of ply before we cut it. So I'm going to go slightly inside the cushion, perhaps about there. I'd say that'd be good. Let's measure how long that is. That's 820 millimeters. So I'll match it up at this end. Mark it, 820. And now just use a straight edge. Just draw that line before we cut it. Perfect. So this piece of ply is going to be the base, the bed base that the cushion sits on, and that's all going to live inside a bed frame that's going to be quite nice looking, quite DIY, it's going to live out here outdoors. So we've got our bed base cut down to size, where the cushion's going to live in there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So now we're going to build the frame to put all this together. To build the frame around the base, I've got some of these lengths of timber. Now they're quite smooth, which is good. We don't want too rough, splintery stuff for the dog. Moose won't be stoked on that. So I'm going to go with 2 of these high. So the bed's going to sit about this tall. And we need to cut these down first to get the first base layer in, basically like we're going to build it like a wall. So these need cutting to the exact length of the ply, 2 that long and 2 to cover the width. So we'll do that now. Right, use the one I've already cut, offer it up on the end there, and mark it off. So we've got 2 out of 4 so far. What do you think, mate? Do you know what it is yet? Can you tell? So our aim now is to build the first layer of the base of the frame. So we're going to glue and screw all these 4 boards together using a pilot hole through each end, and then glue and then screw the lot. So we're going to do all 4 of those now. Then I'm going to put these strengthening battens on the inside edge to brace it all when we go up a level. Let's do it. I think he knows what's coming. Got big plans. Not as big as my plans, Moose. That's all going to be inside an epic frame. Cozy. Before putting the screws in, you can use your right angle that we marked the lines with earlier, just to check that everything is square. There we go. So I'm going to hold it like that for a few seconds, and then we're going to fire the screws through. All right, Moose. Trying to help. Good, 1 to go. Excuse me. Thank you. So these internal structural pieces are going to live inside like this, and they need to be twice the length of one of these widths. So I'm going to measure that now and check the length. And we are 143 millimeters. So I'm going to cut this to 286 long, so they sit double the height all the way around. So our next layer of the frame can just slot in on top. So we've got these little pieces, they're going to sit like that, so we're going to do the same thing as before, 2 pilot holes, some glue and some screw. Gone for a different pattern that time. Okay. Cool. You bored? You won't be in a minute, you've got a bed coming. Right, we're trying to pick up the pace now because, as you can see, Moose is in a bit of a rush. He knows what he's getting. He's not happy about the weight. We're trying to build it properly, mate. Things are taking shape now and we're moving towards the moment of cushion entry. But first, I need to make up the second layer of this frame. And what I was planning to do at the front is have the second board up taper in like that to have a nice little opening, almost a sort of doorway. So I'm going to replicate these two, replicate this one, and that fourth board we'll do at the end by cutting a taper. I'll show you that, but first we need to bang on the last 3. Right, that's looking really good, and it's a very sturdy frame that the bed is going to sit in. We're going to put the piece of plywood underneath later and screw it up onto those feet. But the last thing to do is take one board, like this one, and we're going to cut it at an angle. So looking at Moose, I think we need quite a wide berth, quite a decent width entry, because he's a big boy. So we're going to cut that nice and wide, and then he can sort of do his thing in here and get out at any angle. What do you reckon? Keen? That's our final bit of wood. I'm going to wedge it in there before marking it up. So I'm going to use this to get a 45-degree angle is quite good. And we're thinking about the bottom. I'm going to go all the way out to sort of this distance. Then I'll match that up on the other side. To secure these final pieces in place, we're going to put glue down there along the bottom here. We're going to run 2 pilot holes in there. We're going to do a 3rd pilot hole here on the angle to put a screw into this bit, because otherwise that end would be unsupported and unsecured. So that is the frame built, and I'm sure you can imagine now exactly how it's going to work with the cushion inside. But the last step now, before sanding it and adding the cushion, is to flip it over like this, and I'm going to mount the base onto the bottom like this and just put a screw in each corner. This just gives it a solid base for the whole bed to sit on. The final piece of the puzzle now is just to give it a once over with this orbital sander. It's going to smooth up all the edges, then we're going to put the cushion in. I can tell you Moose is excited already, but he doesn't know what's coming. So the moment of truth now. It's worth noting that you could add feet to this to get it off the ground if it's going to go outdoors in a wet environment, and also you could paint it with animal-friendly products. But we're in a bit of a rush because Moose is just too overwhelmed with excitement of his new bed. So let's see what this new DIY garage bed is going to look like. Look at that. That is perfect. Go on. In your bed. In your bed. Moose, here, in your bed. Lie down. Lie down. Good boy. All of the tools that I used today you can see on the Silverline Tools website at silverlinetools.com, and I hope you've enjoyed today's build video. It's been very DIY, it's been very animal focused, but it's just another thing to add to this awesome garage space, and we'll see you in another build video very soon.